Good morning, all you strange and wonderful weirdos. I'm John.
And I'm Stacey.
It's Friday, October 14th. And here's why. Today is strange.
Okay, so let's start off with a 6,000-year-old skull that's been found that possibly confirms a legend.
That's some skullduggery for you.
It is. So this is from Taiwan. So a team of researchers with members from Australia, Japan, Taiwan, and Vietnam found a 6,000-year-old skull and femur bones in a cave in a mountainous part of Taiwan. And it might prove that the existence of an ancient indigenous tribe, one that has always been heard about, but they've never found proof of it before.
Wow.
Yes. Now, this particular tribe, there have been stories passed down through the generations about a tribe of short, dark-skinned people that once lived in the mountainous parts of the island. And what they found was a skull and leg bones, and they've been dated back approximately 6,000 years, which is a time before the current people were there.
That would be short people, just the skull to the leg bones like that.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's hard to move around.
The time before torsos.
So the study of the bones left behind showed that people had quite short body size. And the femur bones found near the skull were from the same person. They determined that the femur bones and the skull were from a young woman. And they estimate she stood approximately 1.3 meters tall, which was just a little bit over 4 feet. So
But that was some
small people.
angry men in that tribe.
Why is that?
Well, they're so short. Everybody knows short guys are
They
just...
probably had big caves, though.
Yeah, I bet they had the biggest caves.
The biggest
Huge
caves.
Hey, have you seen my cave? It's gigantic.
So the researchers suggest that finding this confirms the existence of the ancient people that have been in all the stories. And currently they say that out of the 16 Austronesian groups that live in Taiwan today, 15 of them have these stories about an ancient, small, dark-skinned people that once lived in the mountains.
Wow.
But no evidence until now.
Did they happen to find one ring to rule them all?
They hopefully did not. They wouldn't tell us if they did. I just think it's interesting because, that just shows you that there could be things out there.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of things that we maybe don't believe in
Bigfoot.
because we've never found proof.
Yeah.
You might find the proof one day.
You might.
Never know.
Yeah, I mean, it's out there.
Mm-hmm. This next story is about some neurons in a dish that have learned to play Pong.
That's an odd statement you don't expect to hear first thing in the morning.
You really don't.
But it's
now,
Friday.
Scientists for a while have tried to mimic the human brain using like computers and AI, that sort of thing, but not in Australia. No, researchers in Australia took it to a new level.
Of course they did.
So some research that was led by a man named Dr. Brett Kagan, who is the chief scientific officer for a biotech startup called Cortical Labs. They have made something they call the BrainDish. And it's basically a huge soup of 800,000 human and mouse brain cells just living in a dish. Just the cells. They call it a tangled mass of wet hardware, and they somehow coaxed it to perform goal-oriented tasks, including playing Pong. Now, what they did was they hooked some electrodes to it. They hooked it to the game, and they had the electrodes map signals for when they hit and miss, because, Pong's very random. They don't, you can't guess where the ball's going to come down. And as the BrainDish played, it got better. And it learned how to become better at the game from the electronic impulses that was being fed to it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And they claim that the tangled bunch of neurons didn't act like a normal computer, but instead they had changed and adapted their activity as a result of experience, and it improved over time.
Okay.
Very, very, you look a little scared.
It's a little weird.
It is a little weird. And it's very strange that you don't even need the brain. You just need the goop.
Well, the goop is all that matters, I guess.
I suppose. I'm not sure where they're going to
go. It's like Prego. It's in there.
I'm not sure. I believe they said they're going to do some more experiments, possibly trying to put stimulus in there like alcohol to see if it slows what it does like a human brain would. They're going to get it drunk. I don't know.
They already show it porn. Just like, look, Look, you can't touch this. Ha 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 ha.
All right, let's move on.
Let's
talk about the Popocatepetl Volcano in Mexico.
The
Popocatepetl?
Popocatepetl?
Yes. The volcano, the big one with the webcam on it 24/7.
See.
You know which one I'm talking about. Now, this particular volcano is really famous for UFO sightings.
It is.
And because they have that live webcam that's on it all the time, people watch it and they catch things all the time. So I wanted to show this particular video. This is from UFO Sightings Daily. Our friend Scott Waring, who watches this thing constantly, is always doing UFO research. He found a very interesting occurrence of a UFO flying down into the volcano. And I thought it was worth a look for our fans. Now, Scott Waring, if you don't know, he used to work on planes in the Air Force. You know, he knows what he's looking at when he sees things in the sky. And he claims that this particular UFO, as it's flying down, is roughly 100 meters. And that makes it much bigger than a 747, like 1.5 times the size of a 747. It does fly very quickly, straight down into the volcano.
Like a double-decker UFO.
It's huge.
Must be visitors.
Yes, maybe it belonged to those indigenous tribe people.
You never know.
Yes. So I will put some links in the description so you can watch the video. And if you want to check out the webcam for that volcano, if you're interested in that, there are comments all the time, people seeing things flying on that thing all the time.
Yeah, that and the space station. Mm-hmm. All the time. People are seeing things, from the space station,
from the
watching
ISS.
that. Yeah.
That one, though, gets turned like in Mexico. They're like, yeah, there's the UFOs. The ISS are like, nope, we didn't see anything.
Yeah, they don't care in Mexico. They got bigger fish to fry.
All right, so let's move on to a really cool discovery.
Let's.
All right, so this is from Syria, and they found an incredibly rare Roman mosaic depicting the Trojan War at an archaeological dig in Syria. Now, they believe that this mosaic is 1,300 square feet. It's considered the most important archaeological discovery since they started their conflict about 11 years ago because it's intact.
We're lucky it's not bombed.
Exactly. It's completely intact. It's gorgeous. And it shows scenes from the legendary Trojan War. And it also, some of the uncovered portions illustrate a portrayal of ancient Amazon warriors who fought alongside the people of Troy, as well as Hercules slaying the Amazon queen, Hippolyta.
Yeah.
And it also depicts the Roman god of the sea, Neptune, with 40 of his mistresses.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the thing is amazing. Yeah. And just the fact they still don't have the whole thing uncovered. They're not sure what kind of building it was in. They're thinking maybe a bathhouse, but it's hard to tell because the whole area, it's slow work over there right now. And
I hear Neptune can control the police.
Did you? They have
deep cut.
It is. They haven't uncovered the whole thing yet, and they're still going to work on it. But the pictures are gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful. All right, let's move on. So this last story is about a man who was banned from the BC ferries in Canada because he was trying to sneak on wearing a disguise. Oh, this is fantastic. So this is a man, they had to call the police, the BC ferries, because a man was on the ferry and they knew that he was somebody that was banned. And when the police showed up, he was wearing a disguise, a sweater, a big scarf, and a wig and some glasses. And he was speaking in in an odd, high-pitched accent that was either Australian or British. They couldn't tell.
What are you trying to say?
Because it was just an odd, high-pitched,
What are you trying to say, Stacey?
Squeaky.
What was humorous to you about that?
Accent. He was just trying to badly disguise himself so he could ride the ferry.
I see. I see, Stacey. I see, Sheila. Huh? Little Mighty Mike, come on.
So when the ferries, they contacted the police when they realized who the man was, because he's supposed to be banned for life. They didn't say why he was banned for life. I feel like they alluded to the fact it had something to do with verbal abuse and things. The accident.
It's abusing our language.
And when the police showed up, he had already fled and he left behind his wig and part of his costume kind of like in the trail. So they had evidence. And
be an alien.
They did say they do know who he is, so he will still get a ticket for.
Still be an alien.
It could be. It could be. Especially with the accent.
Poor guy. Just trying to get on a boat without any kind of.
Just trying to get on the ferry.
I tell you, could have easily not done that story.
No, it's a funny story. It's strange. He put on an odd disguise and, used the accent.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? So we're a week away, folks, from Scarefest. If you're anywhere near Lexington, Kentucky, come on out to the best paranormal con there is. Of course, there's other stuff too, like horror. Mm-hmm. And a lot of horror.
There's mostly horror, but there's paranormal.
There is.
We're there.
So come see us. We're going to be there live and in person all weekend long. Come and support your favorite 2 podcasters there is and support us too. Come see us. And that's why today is strange.